Now that we've figured out the start and end date of class, and by the way, these are all on Mondays, let's go ahead and start working on the course calendar. So under the Content tab, under Course Information, there's the course calendar. And let's just take a look to get started. So when this calendar was put together, the week one ran from October 21st through November 1st, and this was actually in 2013. So let's take a look at the days that it fell on. So it started on October 25th, which was a Friday, and then week one ended on the 1st, which was also a Friday, and then week two ended on the 8th. So Friday, 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 and we want to go Monday, Monday, Monday. So let's go ahead and start editing this. And first thing I'm going to do is change October 25th through November 1st to, let's go May 5th through May 12th. And then let's set week two from May 12th through May 19th. And then the due dates are going to be, instead of Friday, November 1st, it's now going to be Monday, May 12th for the assignment for the first week, and then Monday, May 19th for the second week. So we click the update button at the bottom to save that. Let's just make sure we got everything first. Yeah, here's some dates mentioned, but they're just giving examples of when things start and stop, so we probably don't have to change that. So that looks like everything. So update that. So let's go ahead and just review it, and everything looks okay. Formatting's maybe a little weird, but it'll do. So now let's move on to adjusting our dates to match what we just did in the calendar. So I'm going to go to Edit Course, and there's a tool called Manage Dates, which is pretty handy. If you're working with a lot of dates, it will really save you some time. Now, I'm going to sort by the start date in descending order, and this will float all of the items that have start dates up at the top. So I can just see them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the items in the calendar and go to Offset Dates. And Offset Dates will let me specify a number of dates to change, or a number of days to move all of the dates in my calendar. So I'm going to calculate how many days to move it, because who knows how to do that. But everything that happened on October 25th, which was the old start of class, is now going to happen on May 5th, which is the new start of class. And if I hit this calculate button, it will figure out how many days it needs to adjust everything to make that happen. And when I save, you'll notice it went ahead and changed all of these dates for me. So now the welcome news item is available at 8 a.m. on 5/5. The discussion new activity runs from 5/5 through 5/12, which is correct. And the quiz, what do you know about copyright, is available on the first day of class and is available through the first week. And the your instructor news item is going to be available long before they come to class, and will be available for the first 3 days of class. So we might want to consider changing that. Now also, you'll notice in this column, calendar, this will, if this is checked, it will actually display these dates in the calendar widget, which is useful for a lot of students because it can be imported into Google Calendar and some other tools. as well as being viewed in the calendar widget. So this is a good thing to generally have your items checked off so your dates show up. Now, those dates have all been adjusted, but unfortunately there's some other dates that don't actually get set correctly inside of the Manage Dates tool. And so I have to manually adjust those myself. So the next place I'm going to go is the calendar widget that I mentioned before, which is available on the course homepage. If I just click on calendar, there's some buttons here at the top that you can cycle through. You can look at past events, upcoming events, and all events. So the two that are showing up here are two of the items in Manage Dates that had the checkboxes next to it. There were two of those, so there's two dates here. But what a lot of instructors will do when they're putting together course shells is that they'll actually create events for example, for the start of term, end of term, holidays, and so on. So let's just go ahead and create an event to show you what that looks like. And I'm going to say start of class. And this is going to be all day on 5/5. And I'm going to create that. And I'm also going to create an event for the end of class. And that'll be all day on 5/19. Great. So now these two items, these are controlled by the Manage Dates tab, but then these two items aren't. They're not going to show up in Manage Dates, and if I need to adjust them, I need to do that manually. But fortunately, under More Actions, there's also an Offset Dates here. Oh, I have to actually select them first, and then select Offset Dates. And once again, I can specify how many dates to adjust, but it doesn't have that handy calculator like we had in Manage Dates. So a good idea is after you've done the calculate and Manage Dates, write down the number of days, and then you can just use that here to do your offset. Since my dates are correct, though, I don't need to do that right now. So now you know what to look for, though, if you have a takeover course with some calendar events in it. Now you know how to adjust those. Let's also go and look at the news item. So I'm going to go to Course Home, and next to News, I'm going to go to the News tool, and this will show me all of my news items. If you have a lot of news items in your course, it may take more than one page, so you can navigate to the next page here at the bottom. But I'm just going to go through here and look for any dates in the course, and I'm not actually seeing any that need adjusting. This start date got adjusted automatically. I'm just going to leave this like this for now, but I don't have any dates in the text. Let me show you an example from my course homepage for 122. And you'll see that a lot of these news items have actual dates in them. So for example, as a reminder, Lab 1 is due on Monday, 4/21. Submissions turned in after 4/21 but before 5/5 will automatically get 20% taken off for lateness and so on. Now, what I've done to make my own life easier as an instructor when I have to go through and update this is I've actually bolded all of the dates in here so that they really stand out. And this helps the student to notice the dates, and it also helps me because now I know exactly how to go in and edit them. So if I wanted to edit the dates here, for example, I'd click on the link, and I would scroll down to where the date is in the text, and I could just select it and say 4/6 or 4/5 or whatever. And after you've made the changes, be sure to click the update button at the bottom. And there you go.